All right, welcome back into the Ryan Ripken Show. Happy Thursday, almost to Friday. Got a lot to talk about here. Not a lot of baseball, at least in Baltimore. Doesn't mean we ain't going to talk about it, though. What we have on the docket for you all today. Well, we're going to talk a little bit about how the first 2 weeks have gone, the review for Baltimore, and then we're going to play a little buy or sell around because I think it's a good little exercise to see how confident you really are in some of these teams that are off to a faster start. Then at 3 p.m., former big leaguer, been around for a while, one of the best defensive players in the history of the game, Omar Vizquel is going to join us at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Maybe he's got some insight into what's going on. Also, he can let you all know what he's been involved with specifically and see what he's been up to. Then we're going to go around a little bit of a run around on what is kind of going on in the world of sports outside of just baseball. Some things are baseball related. The Masters did start. Luka Doncic went back to Dallas. And then apparently there's some NBA superstar that loves him some Derrick Henry. And then we got time. We'll have call-ins later on to let you guys vent, talk about what's on your mind, and then we'll wrap it on up and get you ready for a great weekend. In studio with me, it's kind of quiet in here, but it's just Zach.
Yeah. Woo! The electric in the air. Woo! I don't think anyone got that reference, but it's okay.
I don't think they did either. And I'm trying to see if, looks like the internet issue again. Well, we're working on getting new Wi-Fi here.
Yeah, but stick with us, people. We're trying.
We are working on this. I promise. We'll get there. But can you guys hear us okay, at least? That's the big part.
Yeah, as long as you can hear us. I know you might not want to hear us all the time, but as long as you can hear us, I think we're gonna go. Yeah, it's a little blurry, but we keep rolling.
Yeah, I wonder why we are continuing to have this issue. And this is why we are more than likely switching carriers as we move forward.
Yeah, we're being told we're here loud and clear. That's
okay, so if you can hear us, that's the big part. We'll try to figure out how we can make this internet better. And I'm not understanding, especially for what the bill is. You know what grinds my gears to start this off is when you pay certain bills, and you're paying quite a lot for these bills, specifically for these services.
Mm-hmm.
And those services aren't consistent. Kind of grinds my gears. Let me know what grinds your guys' gears as we move on. But as we start off this show and we get into what's been happening, at least in Birdland, got to shout out our new sponsor, Merit Clubs. Appreciate Merit Clubs right there. We're going to have a sign going up here. It's actually on the desk right now. You can see it there.
Yeah.
Appreciate them. And as you guys know, Merit Clubs, we got a great offer on the Ryan Ripken Show, which it's this simple. All right. If you guys click on this link that I'm about to pull up, and you then, there it is. Hold on. Is it popping up yet?
Nope, not yet. It's just
great. Let's try this right now. When I move, you move.
Just like that.
Boom. There it is. And Merit Clubs, they're allowing us, because again, we're all about community, right? And there's so many things that Merit has involved in their community. It's not just for working out. A lot of these places, you can go to the pool. You can do some yoga. Maybe do some Pilates. Am I doing Pilates? I might be doing Pilates. But they're going to give you a free month. And it's on us, on them. 30 days free. You sign up using that link. And the code is RIP25, all lowercase. RIP25. Get 30 days free. Come hang out with us then, too. We can even schedule a little get-together there. And we appreciate everything with Merit Clubs. You're going to see a whole lot more with them throughout the course of this baseball season. And yes, baseball season is upon us. And yes, in some cases, Zach, people think baseball season is over. It's not.
It's like the NFL. They're actually only 17 games. So we're into next year, 2026.
We're into 2026.
I don't know if you heard. Where they scratched the 162. We're playing 13.
That's it. Yeah. Every year.
That was it.
Well, if that was the case, I got to say, and I got to give a shout out to Casey here on X, where apparently I haven't been saying the O's are fine because I thought it was just a new year, so we could just use something else. So I'm going to pull up this quick tweet here where I just was saying, I got to ask the question. It's a long way to go for the season. Can you guys see that? And apparently that wasn't a good response. It was, guys were screwed. And I responded, this was good, Casey, like the O's not having the sprinkler hydration celebrations. I was just changing it up for the year, but maybe
can't do that.
We just need to bring it all back, bring the hydration stations back, bring back the O's are fine all the time. But I did get a kick out of that, Zach. I thought that was funny. Guys were screwed.
Yeah, if you're not saying the O's are fine, then what else do we have as an organization in Baltimore if the O's aren't fine? Nothing.
But to your point, we are 13 games in, and there's so many things that need to happen moving forward. And you know what? I'll bring it back. If the O's are fine as a mainstay for the people, hey, listen closely.
The O's are fine.
The O's are fine. We are 13 games in, and what we do know is that they do have to play better baseball. And we understand that is something that you got to continue to get more consistent. But it's not just an Orioles thing. We'll explain later. It's other teams. But let's talk about the Orioles right now. The biggest question mark is around the starting pitching staff, Zach.
Yes.
But positive news, they might be getting another starter here very soon. Kyle Gibson is slated to hopefully make a return here in the next month. He made his first start in Norfolk today. 47 pitches, 3 1/3, and 1 earned run. Overall, he looked pretty good. The biggest thing is he was healthy. So building up to almost 50 pitches, good first start for Kyle Gibson. You want to know who he faced off against, Zach, today?
Who's that?
Spencer Strider.
Pretty good matchup.
And I'll tell you what, talk about a guy that looks ready. Spencer Strider, when I last saw before we got off, he was 3 2/3 innings, 1 walk, 1 hit, 9 punch outs.
I mean, that's the one thing. Spencer Strider makes major league batters look dumb at the plate sometimes with his ability to strike out seemingly everybody. I can only imagine being someone in AAA. It's, first week or so of the season, you're trying to get your foot under you. You're thinking about, okay, am I going to take that next step to the majors? Trying to figure things out. Oh, Spencer Strider's. We're facing Spencer Strider. Okay. 9 punchies through 3 1/3. I mean, it's got to be a tough one for the AAA guys in Norfolk to, some of them, obviously the Kobe Mayos and stuff, they gotta, they're going to have to see these guys. But if you're trying to get your feet underneath you, maybe, off to a slow start on the year, don't think you want to see one of the best pitchers in baseball when healthy, getting his rehab start against you.
Yeah. I mean, Spencer Strider's a dude, man. That guy is a
hell of a stash.
And a hell of a stash. You might have one of the top stashes in the game. We should have a tier ranking here on top stashes in Major League Baseball. But for Kyle Gibson, why don't we play this clip real quickly that I just pulled back up. This is Kyle Gibson talking about his ramp up to give Birdland a little bit more of an idea of how he's feeling and how long it's going to take to get him to Baltimore. It sounds like you're ramping up well, and you're joining a group that you know well. I mean, it seems like it's a great match. What is something that you, I guess, maybe are looking the most forward to getting back on the bump here, as you're in a different stage of your life, is what you said, and that's kind of like goes in with the big league impact in general. You're in a different stage, but on the field, it seems like you still might have some unfinished business.
Yeah, I still feel really good, and that's one thing that probably made it harder as I was going through these workouts this off season. My body wasn't telling me, hey, maybe we should think about this for a second. Actually kind of the other way. I felt really good all last year. I only had a couple weird instances where a sore back popped up. Other than that, very thankful to be healthy and feeling good. And this offseason was the same. Bullpens and, the live BPs I was throwing, getting ready, waiting on some calls, felt really good. And, the last 2 lives that I've thrown have been better and better. And, definitely feel really, really good about where I'm at. I think it'll be a similar timing as spring training. I tried to keep myself as, close to built up as I could. I probably threw 4 bullpens that were 50 or 60 pitches, leading up to my time signing with Baltimore. So I think, pitch count was good. the intensity of what I was throwing, I was in a lot different situation, without athletic trainers, without the full amenities of, being completely ready to throw those bullpens at the intensity I would probably like to. So that's kind of what I'm building up now is the pitch intensity with the pitch count. I think I have one more live down here in Sarasota and then, see where these next 3 or 4 starts, hopefully in Norfolk, take me. But yeah, thankfully I feel really good. And
so a couple parts here. One, ramping up. And
Uh-huh.
also, you can't get that intensity, even if you do a live BP or you do a scrimmage. Nothing is like being an actual game that counts against another team. So for Gibby, he mentioned at the end 3 or 4 starts in Norfolk that he's thinking. Well, that was number 1.
Yeah.
So we're thinking we might see 2 more, maybe 3. And I'm curious, Zach, of how dire the Orioles are for the starting rotation with the injury to Zach Eflin. And, they can probably manage the 4 given the schedule of what it can be. But sooner than later, if everything goes well, Kyle Gibson's going to be here. And it feels like if we're saying 3 more starts, that's 15 days. That's 2 weeks, right? Or maybe it's less than that. So I think the 2 to 3 week period is realistic that we see Kyle Gibson. I think by May 1st, Gibby will be back up here starting the game. Looks like everything's going well. And I'll tell you this, I don't really care how he does in the minors. His numbers can get lit up. I just want to hear one thing. How do you feel?
Yeah.
Do you feel healthy? Yep, I'm good. Great. Then he'll turn it on.
Yeah.
And you got to trust that the guy's going to turn it on. But right now, the Orioles could use one of their staples of that 2023 team on and off the field with Kyle Gibson, Zach.
Yeah, and I think, honestly, probably, besides how he feels, the most important stat is going to be the pitches. 43 this time. I would expect next start he's probably in the 55 to 60-ish range, then probably go up another 10-ish the next start, and then see how he feels and make the decision if he needs one more in AAA before he comes back, or if it's time to head up to Baltimore. But yeah, and it's even one of those things where obviously when he comes up to Baltimore, there's going to be, unfortunately, this expectation that he's got to be this, I don't want to say save the rotation, but it went from he was this veteran leader who, is great vibes, is this guy that everyone looked up to now it is a more dire situation of, hey, Kyle, we need you to be a contributing part to this team for the long run, potentially. But I'm intrigued to see the impact it has on the team as a whole. Mm-hmm. Because every single player that we've talked to from the 2023 team, when you talk about leadership, when you talk about the guys that made that team click, it was Kyle Gibson. It was Kyle Gibson. And it's without hesitation. It's not like they sit there and they think, they're like, okay, who fits that criteria? So it's like, hey, who from that 23 team, what made, they're like, oh, Kyle Gibson was a massive part that people don't talk about. Whether it was on the field, off the field, checking in on guys, making sure guys are okay, seeing how guys are feeling, whether it's their play-wise or off the field. He kind of was that leader of the clubhouse that not many people, I think at this point, it's more well-known, but while it was happening in 23, yeah, it's cool that he won the most games for the Orioles, but a lot of his impact came from the fact that the entire staff looked up to him. He was that veteran leader that this team needed, and I don't think it's going to be any different just, a year removed. Last season's the only year, obviously, he was in with the Cardinals, but I'm excited to see the impact not only on the field, but off the field. Do we see maybe a looser starting rotation? Do we see some guys maybe feeling a little bit better? I don't think it's going to be an immediate impact, but I think in the long run, having a leader like Gibby back in the locker room is going to pay dividends for this team.
Yeah, and he's going to fit like a glove, right?
Yeah.
He's a guy that what you're getting from him on and off the field. And for Gibby, this isn't saying he's the savior for the Orioles. And also, we're 13 games in. There's so much ball that needs to be played. I want to emphasize this. Do the Orioles need to play better? Yes. But a lot of teams have to play better here. I mean, heck, we just mentioned Spencer Strider here. The Atlanta Braves are 2-9 right now, Zach. So it's a good little exercise here before we have Omar Vizquel join us here at 3 p.m. Let's play a little buy or sell around Major League Baseball. And let's start off in the American League, because if we're going to go off of the hot starts right now, why don't we start off with a team that's off to a hot start out in the AL West, which everybody was picking to win this division, right? The Los Angeles Angels are sitting at 7-4, Zach.
No phones in the locker room leads to wins.
That's what it is. They're one game out of first place. You buying or selling the Los Angeles Angels?
I'm selling.
You're selling it.
I'm selling.
And why?
They are having, if you look at their lineup, it is legitimately like Logan O'Hoppe, like all of them. It's, if you could write out before the season, if you went to the Angels, every player individually, and we're like, hey, let's go best case scenario. How do you start the first 13 games? Every single one of them would have written probably potentially even less than how they're producing. Every single one of their players is playing out of their mind. I give it to them. They are winning games. They are going out there. They're winning the games in front of them. I don't think it's sustainable for 162. I think just top to bottom, Rangers are more talented. I do think even with their slow start, the Astros are more talented. Mariners pitching, it should. I don't know about the Mariners. I'm going to be honest. They're that one team, but I just can't see the Angels continuing this pace. I think it's great. I think they have some really good players, but I don't think they are going to continue at the rate they're going. So could this be a surprise team that maybe wins 75, 80 games? Yeah. But I don't think we're going to be sitting here after 162 looking at the Angels up there with the Rangers and them in the West.
So this is why I brought this up, why I started with the Angels, okay? This is a team that to most we're picking to finish last in the AL West, right? And they very well could. But right now, the Seattle Mariners and the Athletics are both 5-8, just like the Baltimore Orioles at 5-8. Houston Astros, 5-7. The one team right now that, we knew this going into the Chicago White Sox after starting off 2-2. We'll get into them a little bit later on. They're 2-9, right? But if you're going to go through the AL Central, I think, Zach, fair to say we're probably both buying Detroit.
Yeah.
Both buying Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still buying Cleveland. 5-6. They're probably, they play the White Sox right now, get the 6-6 if they win that game. I'm not even shutting the door on the Twins, but that's a little bit of the three teams right now, Detroit, Kansas City, Cleveland. We're in agreement. We're buying. They're going to figure it out.
Yeah.
Then look at the AL East right now. The Blue Jays are 8-5. Were people buying the Blue Jays to start the year? No. Right? New York Yankees, 7-5. They got a lot of pitching concerns. Maybe not as much as Baltimore, but they have concerns. Boston's 6-7 now.
Mm-hmm.
Tampa's 5-6, Baltimore's 5-8. So when you're looking throughout the American League, just right there, there's a lot of teams that are struggling to get off, but it sounds like, Zach, there's confidence. There's confidence that these teams can go out there and play well. We just got to figure out how that's going to be. One thing I wanted to bring up about pitching is I was just watching this, and we're going to talk about it again later when the White Sox, we show the highlights of that White Sox Guardians game from last night. Clase is off to a little bit of a rough start.
Yeah.
That's their guy in the back end of the bullpen, right? Each team has their own set of issues that they are dealing with. I want to emphasize that again. Each team has their own issues that they're dealing with. The reality is, how do you get through your own issues? So then, Zach, get into the final thing. The Orioles are sitting there at 5-8. Are you buying that they're going to put it together?
Yeah. There's too much talent, and there's too much talent waiting. I mean, you do have guys like Kobe Mayo. I think you're going to get Colton Cowser back. I just think there's too much talent. We'll see with Eflin. We'll see with Grayson. Do I think this team, could I see them kind of bottoming out and being a 500 team with the way they're playing? Yeah. I think that totally, with the pitching or lack thereof right now in the starting rotation, I could very much see that be the downfall to why the Orioles don't make the playoffs, without a doubt. I don't see the offense with the amount of talent they have continuing to be this just inconsistent. It's like I said, maybe they finish 500, but I would be very shocked if the Orioles are below 500 when it's all said and done.
Well, and I think the crazy part here is with the Orioles offense is that they're just not hitting dingers.
Yeah,
Recently.
Issue.
Right. And that was something if we're saying, oh, they're too reliant on the long ball. Well, they haven't been over the last week.
Yeah.
Early on they were. Last week they have not. So the Orioles are a team where, yes, they've hit into a lot of double plays, and I got to look at that real quickly on how hard some of these balls are hit. But if they're squaring balls up, it's a matter of time that they're going to put some things together. The bullpen has been very good outside of CNL Perez overall. Batista actually has a 6 ERA, and I'm not worried about him. He's only pitched a couple times, but everyone outside of Perez and Batista has been really good in the bullpen. So you have that mixed with the talent. And by the way, guess who has to do their spring training when the games matter? Gunnar Henderson. Yeah. So Gunnar is trying to work through. He started off 4 for 25, a guy that last year had 75 extra base hits. Had over 35 jacks. I think it was 37 was the number. So MVP caliber, he's 4 for his first 25 to start the season. So there's so many different elements here that we can talk about with the Orioles themselves. But that's why when we played that game of buy or sell, each team you can make a case. But the reality is, this is why I say you're going to need another 30 to 60 days to really find out what your team is made of, because a sample size of 13, sure, it could be the prelude to what the season could be. It could be foreshadowing, but I find it very hard to believe that all those teams that I mentioned that are stuck in the mud at the end of the day are going to stay stuck in the mud. We're going to find out which teams are going to be able to rev themselves out of there or push that car out of that mud and keep on with their journey. So can't wait to see what's going to happen. On the other flip side of it, the Braves are 2-9. Yeah. Talking about teams that panic setting in, the Braves can't find a way to win out games.
And that is not a division that you could start 2-9 in, especially with the way the Phillies are playing the Mets. I think those are the two teams to beat in that division. But talent-wise, I think the Braves are that number 2A. I think, Phillies are the most talented. But if you had told me the Braves were starting 2-9, that's worst-case scenario for them, because this was not a division that you could fall behind in. Especially, it'd be one thing if everyone sort of like the AL East was kind of clumped together. But it is already, Braves 11 games in or 6 games back. Obviously they got 151 games still to play. That's a lot of ball left to play, but you in a division like that, you need to start out hot. You need to at least keep pace. So yeah, if I'm the Braves, panic is starting to set in a little bit. I don't think it's one of those things where you're like, well, season's over. You can still fight. You can still get a wild card spot, even though I think, you're going to have to rely on the NL West kind of beating up on each other. You're going to have to look out for the Brewers. It's still very much a possibility. For the Braves, they can turn this around just like that. They go on a quick 7-game win streak. You're back at 500, and then we're not talking about this at all. But if you want to talk about ideal starts, that is, if you're the Braves or you're a Braves fan, you're sitting there scratching your head going, what the hell can we do to fix something at this point? Because it ain't going right in Atlanta.
Yeah, they got to find ways. And they do have a talented roster, right?
Very
this is
talented.
And they got off to a rough start. They got swept by the Padres and then swept by the Dodgers.
And that's, I think that needs to also be. It wasn't like they were getting, beat by the White Sox or something. These were the two teams that you kind of are like, hey, those are the teams to beat in, baseball, especially the NL right now. And unfortunately for the Braves, they ran into 2 buzzsaws to, start the season.
And also not even buzzsaws then too. The Braves could have won half those games.
Yeah.
If not more. They didn't close them out.
They were up 5-0 on the Dodgers at one point.
We're talking about closing games out. And then when the fighting Gavin Sheets in the Padres now, he comes in and hits a pinch hit tying home run in the 7th inning, right? Late in the game, Braves had leads. They didn't close it out. It's a story of every team. You got to be able to close out games to have success in baseball. So we'll see what happens with them. That's a tough division. And one thing I wanted to close out with this, and Johnny, I understand it keeps brought up this 100-game sample size from the Orioles to last year. I'm not going to brush that aside and say that doesn't matter anymore. But what I want to try to differentiate between 24 to 25 is down the stretch, you had a team that was battling adversity left and right. You had young players trying to deal with failure, plus you had so many injuries to starters. But this year, why I say it's different, Jackson Holliday is not the struggling kid out the gate. He looks like a guy that is getting comfortable playing second base. Cedric Mullins has continued to play well. Adley Rutschman does not look like the guy in the second half of the season right now. So there's different variations of this. The bullpen looks good. That was a question mark last year, right? So I know we want to look to 24 and say it's that last stretch, and I'm not going to throw that away, but we need to at least give it time over the next 30 to 60 days to see what this team is capable of doing. It starts tomorrow night at Camden Yards as the Orioles take on the Blue Jays.
This is as big of a series early on as you can get for multiple reasons. I think the biggest one is you have to win 2 of 3. You have to win 2 of 3. For the biggest reason, as you can talk about, momentum, switch the vibes around. Don't care about that. It's going to be a dogfight in the American League. It's going to be a dogfight in the American League East. You need to win season series to get those tiebreakers. You're sitting there 2-2 against Toronto. You're going to play 13 games. Take 2 of 3, go up 5-4 in the season series, and then after that, or 5-4, you would go up 4-3 in the season series. You have 6 games left, and you can split 3-3 the rest of the way with them, and you take the season series. That gives you that extra game of cushion. It's just you don't want to fall behind the 8 ball and then suddenly going into, if you lose 2 of 3, if you want to take the season series versus the Jays, you got to win 4 of the next 6 you play them. It's just win this series, and you're setting yourself up well for down the road. If it does come down to a tiebreaker scenario, you're not kicking yourself saying, damn, if we would have just won 2 of 3 or one more early on in the season.
You know what? You just got to find a way. My philosophy again, Zach, win a series. If you can't win it, don't get swept.
Yep.
But also when you play your division, try to take care of business, because you don't know when that could help you out in the future, but you see them the most out of any other team in Major League Baseball. So again, if you are new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show. We are live every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 2:30 to 4:30 p.m. Eastern time. And look, Zach, I'm getting that second win back, getting over whatever I was dealing with the last couple days and moving forward, because I got our good friends here at the Iron Rooster. We are going to have our cocktail special with Deep Eddy Vodka. We're going to have those on back-to-back days, Wednesdays and Thursdays. Obviously, though, your boy is trying to get through it. And maybe it is with this weather coming through. I know it's a bad weather day, bad weather weekend coming through. Apparently, it's supposed to storm a lot coming up. Maybe we can wash that all away, including this 5-8 start for the Birds as we move into mid-April. They do say April showers brings May flowers, though, Zach.
Hopefully it brings Orioles wins.
And I think that's what people want to see. And again, if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. And we're waiting here, trying to see what's going on with Omar. But for a second then, while we are reassessing, why don't we take a quick trip to our friends up at Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races in West Virginia. Boom. Chaz Michaels is figure skating. What movie, Zach?
Don't know. Let's keep it moving, baby.
That's tough. Woo! Blades of Glory is what we were looking for. Blades of Glory.
It's on the tip of my tongue.
Zach, I know you didn't bet anything on Blades of Glory here, but you didn't have any homer calls recently, but you do have some stuff in for the Masters right now.
Yes, I do.
Who do we got?
First one, I need Rory McIlroy to kind of get it going together right now. I have him winning the first round. He's at -1 right now. Not looking great with Justin Rose at -5. But actually, I'm all in on Max Homa. This Masters came in second place last Masters, and it's one of those things. So I just laddered it. He's got some incredible odds. So I have him top 20 finish, top 10 finish, and winning the whole thing. Also got some bets on Colin Morikawa to finish in the top 20, Rory to finish top 10, Bryson DeChambeau top 20, Scotty top 10, and Scotty's just locked in right now doing Scotty Scheffler things. Masters is the one like golf tournament that I actually pay attention to. I guess all the majors I watch, but there is just something about the Masters. Like obviously it's the the big one, but it is so funny. Like you can tell that there's just more eyes on the Masters than there is any other golf tournament. Obviously you have the US Open, you have all the other majors, but when they're in Augusta, it's just, it brings something. I become a golf fan for 4 days. So that's my 4-day. I'm a golf fan. I'm checking who's doing well, what people are doing. So Max Homa, let's do something. Let's put some magic on, buddy. Woo!
That's where it is. Max Homa.
Max Homa.
We will see what happens. And hey, our friends at Hollywood Casino, they got a good deal going. If you're not going to take Zach's word for his bet, well, look, then take it upon yourself, to be honest here. And right now with Hollywood Casino, in Penn and ESPN Bet, you bet online, you get $100 in Penn cash. You sign up for ESPN Bet app to receive your first 50, and you make a deposit, and you get your next 50. Just use the code 50PEN50. Oh, that kind of goes.
Ooh.
50PEN50. But we appreciate our friends at Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races in West Virginia. Man, that was going. That was moving and grooving, man. I am working out the logistics right now for Omar, and we'll hopefully be talking to him in just a minute. Do. But I hope you guys let us know where you're tuning in from. I always love to see where our community is tuning in from. And also, it's a good reminder to all of you, we know we've been having some video issues, and we apologize for that. But for all the ones that are listening on the audio platforms, we appreciate you. We're on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. And to get the word out there more, obviously, our Holy Shirts and Pants and Rips Good Kids are doing their part. But leave a review on there. Let us know what's going on. But obviously, the reviews help us tremendously, help us push it out even more so we can get the good word out about what we got going on here at the Ryan Ripken Show. When I move, you move, Zach.
Just like that.
Just like that. And it is moving just like that. Baseball season is underway. We are 2 weeks into the season. And a reminder, most teams have 149 games to go. It's a long way until we get to that point. And actually, I think our next guest knows a thing or two about playing in a full season. Actually played quite a few seasons, to say the least. And he's also one of the best defenders the game has ever seen. That's a good time to check in with him. Omar, if you're good, give us a thumbs up behind. If you're ready to rock and roll, if you see us.
Yep.
Zach, let's bring on Omar Vizquel. Omar, how you doing? Oh, I think you're muted. Just need to unmute yourself.
Hello, Ryan. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Great to see you.
Nice to see you, man.
Yeah, so, hey, talk to me a little bit. Well, first off, congratulations, I hear, are in order. But talk to me a little bit about what you've been going on and what you've been focusing on with your baseball clinics and you being one of the main ambassadors over there in the Venezuela Summer League.
Yes, I started this project last year where they invited me to be part of this league. That is the summer league here, and players that doesn't have the opportunity to travel international, they get to stay here in Venezuela with their families, and they get to enjoy 2.5 months of season with 8 teams. So there is a lot of players. Some of them come from Mexico, Panama, Nicaragua, etc., etc. And of course, there is a lot of veteran guys in there, and they're trying to put some young guys that haven't signed yet in order for them to put excitement to the league. So my job is kind of like go from team to team and make sure that everybody's doing okay, and make sure that everybody is comfortable and find I would say find solutions to the problems that they are presenting. So very exciting about that. And in the meantime, we're speaking with clinics, baseball kids that come to these ball games, and we talk to them about values of the game and how to play the game the right way, techniques about how to get better. And this is between the age of I would say 7 years old all the way to 16, where they have the opportunity to sign. So it has been amazing. We have been connecting with people all over the place, and I'm really I love what I'm doing. So very very cool.
Yeah, you're helping the next generation along the lines. And I love the fact of what you're doing over there because actually, the World Baseball Classic just got announced recently. And we were talking about yesterday with our guest, Daniel, about the impact that baseball has around the world. And really at the World Baseball Classic, with all the talent that goes out there, you realize just how talented, especially players are coming from the Latin countries where you're going, wait a minute. All this is that whole talented of where these guys are coming from. So I think it's great you're helping to give more resources, helping that next generation of guys. Well, then I got to know selfishly then, Omar. I mean, you were one of the best that ever did it. What's something for you that you focused on that I was trying to go through all the accolades that you had as a Gold Glover? What's a good piece of advice for someone you can give out there that's trying to learn how to be the best fielder they can be?
I think that you have to know what are your best tools, and then start shining those tools from there. I started playing in a lot of bad fields here with a lot of rocks, balls were bouncing all over the place. I never used a glove because we were playing with bare hands. And I think when you get to America and you start playing on these beautiful fields, we have a little advantage of you look like you're playing in turf all the time, and you're used to every bounce. So that's one of the things that I tell the younger generation of players is try to play with no glove. Try to make your own balls and play with these balls because they bounce all over the place, and they start creating like good habits for you. Once you get a glove in your hands, and everything becomes a lot easier. And another thing that I tell them is you have to believe in yourself. There's going to be a lot of people out there that say that you're not going to make it because you don't have a strong arm, or you don't move too well to the right or to the left. And as long as you believe in yourself, you start creating your own style of the game. And I think that you get the chance to get farther that way.
Yeah, I mean, it first starts with the mentality. You got to believe what you're doing. But I love the fact of it. It makes sense. People say you have the best hands they've ever seen, Omar. I mean, you do that trick with the glove. I feel like that's gone viral, Zach, all the time. How long did it take you to learn that trick, by the way? Was that just
Actually,
natural?
that was pretty quick. I think that I learned it in 2 days. On the second day, third day, I was already bouncing the ball off my gloves. I was in like in double A at the time, and people really had a kick out of that. They didn't see that very often for players, and I think a lot of people is learning this trick. A lot of guys are doing it now in the big league, but it's something that we enjoy teaching the kids, and they go, wow, how do you do that? So that's one of the techniques that we kind of stay away from, because it's not something that you're gonna do in the game. Sometimes people does it, but there's something that we don't recommend to do in the game. We are trying to create good habits for them, and when you're still in the minor leagues, until you don't make it to the big league, don't try to do the trick.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, that's where you got to learn it, right? It's, you mess around and obviously got to be fundamental. But I got to say, if you got the right skill set, you're going to be able to push the boundaries to what you're capable of doing. Omar, two things I'll let you out of here. I got to know, you mentioned the minor leagues and the journey. You've had so much experience, obviously, going through the system, being in the systems, then on the other side, post-playing career. Do you have any minor league stories that stick out to you throughout your time getting up to the bigs?
Yes, I mean we can speak for hours with the minor league stories. I think a lot of people can tell you how excited it is for a young Venezuelan guy to come to America and share a house with 8 other Latin players on my first year, trying to learn the language. There is a lot of funny jokes that the American people play on you, and you try to come out with a smile. If you have a good sense of humor, I think you're gonna be okay. But you have to do laundry, and your clothes don't turn out the same way that you expect it to be. You try to cook, and then the rice get burned, or the spaghetti is overcooked. I mean, things that you learn that you have to really live to go over the top and try to succeed on America, on a new culture. And I think these stories go way back with everybody that have that opportunity. And I thank God that I have to be in the minor league for 5 years, going to every level: rookie league, single A, double A, triple A, and every year is a different experience. It's a different story. We really enjoy meeting new people in there. Guys that now are doctors or engineers because the baseball career didn't go the way that they expected to, and it's just creating new friendship with everybody. I think that is the most exciting thing, just to see these kids now that you see playing with dirt after the game, now becoming major leaguers, and earning all these millions. So amazing, man. I think baseball, if I die and I can burn again, I think I would do the same. I will be a baseball player, because it's a great life where you share with a lot of people, and you always take those memories with you, and it's just amazing life. I'm fortunate.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, the experiences, by the way, you went through so much as a player, and I think people forget how hard it is, one, to travel to a different country, then learn how to fit in, and then, oh, by the way, you're trying to figure out how to make a career out of this, which you did for a long time. And Omar, you were part of one of those teams in '97 for Cleveland. You kind of ruined some dreams here in Baltimore, though. Well, we'll forget about that. But the one thing I wanted just to close on, is there any players right now in the game that that you really have enjoyed watching? And it's a different evolution of it, but any style that you have really enjoyed seeing them play in this day and age in the big leagues?
Yes, I mean, you see guys now that they want to show their arm all the time. I think one of the things that the scouts are searching for, these guys that throw 100 miles an hour from shortstop to first base. That is something that I never got used to. I will say I didn't have a strong arm, and I never have to throw the ball hard to first base unless the speed is asking me to. But I
Yeah.
really enjoy guys like De La Cruz now, the kid from Cincinnati. He had an amazing arm. The guy Henderson that you guys have in Baltimore is an amazing guy to watch. You learn a lot by watching his speed, the way that he feels the ball. I enjoy Rockio, the kid from the Guardians, Cleveland Guardians. He's from Venezuela. I saw him here play in Venezuela for a while, and I'm really impressed the way that he played the position. The same way with the Gold Glove for the National League, Tovar. He's with the
Yeah.
Colorado Rockies. Another guy that is an amazing tool. And also, we can't forget Bobby Witt Jr. This guy is just a pleasure to see. This is one of the guys that you pay a ticket to watch him play. And the generations of shortstop never stop growing. We see a lot of different guys out there. And I'm excited to watch baseball games in the big league, because everybody brings something different to the game, and it's just great.
Yeah, and you know what, Zach? Omar was just saying about as a infielder, hey, you're not trying to speed yourself up. You want to make the play, and then you'll throw it, and you'll show off the arm if you got to, whatever you have. And that's why I love talking to Omar about this. Those little tidbits there, Omar. I could talk to you about fielding probably for hours. But one more time before we let you go, where can people find everything that you're doing, so they can either follow for more instruction tips and what you have going on down in Venezuela?
Well, I don't post many of the instruction tips or anything like that. What we do post, what we do on the baseball fields. We're gonna start doing that in May. That's when the season starts, on May 10th, and then from there we're gonna start posting everything that we go to. If you go to my Instagram, Omar Vizquel 13, you can see some of the things that we do with the kids. If you go back to last year and all that stuff. So, we're going to be doing a lot of different things this year. So I'm excited. I'm excited for the new summer season to start, so we can still teaching the game the right way again.
Well, great. Well, we'll be following, and maybe as it gets going, we have you back on to give us the what's going on boots on the ground feel. But Omar, I appreciate you. Thank you for taking the time, and I hope all else is well with you.
Thank you, Ryan. Make sure you say hi to your dad. Give him a big hug for me.
I will, Omar. Appreciate you. Thank you very much. Omar Vizquel, everybody. You know what I love with Omar? Like when we hear the little tidbits of the previous great players. I love the drill he talked about not using a glove. That one tidbit. Oh, what'd you do? Don't use a glove.
Use a ball that's not going to bounce correctly.
It's amazing.
I also love, if I die and come back, I want to be a baseball player.
Guy's a
baseball
gamer.
Guy. That's
he
a baseball
loves
guy.
He's what we call baseball guy, Zach.
Yeah. Happy spent 5 years in the minors. I don't know if many guys will look back and be like, love the 5 years I spent in the minors. Well, one, you don't see that much anymore. You know, you see a lot of guys, especially these top prospects, they fly through in 2-3 years max. So for him to be like, no, I love playing every level, just love playing with guys. He is baseball guy through and through.
Through and through. Hey, there's so many comments here that I've seen people talk about, but Steve, the last part, great player who played Gold Glove defense year in and year out, and talk about knowing yourself and knowing what you have to do to be successful. Omar wasn't known for being a prolific hitter. He wasn't, right? But what you could count on is that he could play that position as good as almost anyone during that time. And that gave pitchers comfortability, stability, and an understanding that they can do what they have to do, and they're going to have a guy behind him that's going to be able to make plays. And also, you know, we haven't released some of the other interviews for the Legends series, and maybe we got to get Omar on for that just alone for the Legends. Yeah. Let's just say there's another top-tier defensive player, his drill and skill set that he talked about makes, when you hear Omar talk about it, it's thinking outside the box, and it's not about always being the flashiest. You got to be fundamental before you are flashy. And yeah, I didn't want to get into all the memories, but yes, they did break the hearts of Orioles fans in 1997. Yeah. Thanks for that, Omar. But if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show. Do this live every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right here on YouTube and X, and on the audio, Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts. Zach, it is 3:22. My energy is coming back. I maybe it's that I'm feeling good. It's getting closer to the weekend. Maybe it's because I get to stare at your beautiful White Star Sales hats.
You know, I think
it's still in style.
We are matching. I realized we did both rock the Iron
shit.
Rooster. Yeah, so that happened. I noticed that a few minutes ago. I was like, shit, I also have the Iron Rooster one on.
So we are twinning
over here on a Thursday. This week, I have not known what day of the week it was, like the entire week. I don't know what it is, but I've been like 3 days off, I feel like, every day. Like it's been like Tuesday for like 3 straight days. But then at the end of the day, I'm like, oh, it is Thursday. And then I also thought it was Friday like 2 days ago. It's just been a mess. It's been a mess.
Get yourself a broom because it's a mess. Hey, before we dive back into some more baseball conversation here, because we do have quite a bit. I guess it's a little bit of a hodgepodge. But, Zach, why don't we take a little bit of a little rip rundown of what we got going on? I want to kind of get some – do we have any sound effects for that one right now? I don't know if that's the one we need.
You know, you asked for sound effects. I hit a button.
Try another button. Okay.
We got. Oh yeah, I gotta start using that one again.
That would be a good one, but not for that, because we got some good things to talk about. Zach, why don't we start with this? And we mentioned we wanted to talk about going around baseball, and maybe that sound effect is for this next case, the Guardians White Sox finish. And for those that didn't see this, the Guardians, I believe, had a walk-off the night before, and they had a walk-off then last night. But 2 different outcomes of why that happened. Guardians win both games. White Sox, though, when it rains, it pours.
Yeah.
And let's just say they were limping to the finish line in the final game. So let's play that clip real quickly just to show you guys the context. So the White Sox are down.
You got tying run at second.
Tying run at second base, 2 outs. Talkman's trying to come around to score the tying run, and he comes up limping, rounding third base. And the thing is, I hate this. I know we're keeping it light. I hate this for him, for Talkman, because one, he just battled a hamstring injury.
Yeah, he just came off.
Just came back.
A few days ago, came off the IL for a tweaked hamstring, and then obviously re-aggravated it here. This is a tough way to lose.
So a guy, first off, personally, he's dealing with that. And then secondly, with the White Sox, you're going, man, you're scratching and clawing against Clase here. Get the hit, have a chance, and your body gives out on you, and you lose that game 3-2. That's the walk-off, final out at the plate, and the Guardians get a victory. Talk about, again, a team that's struggling out the get-go or out the gate. Guardians are trying to find a way.
Yeah, I mean, he's safe here. If he's rounding third here. Well, I will say, though, keeping light of the situation, this was the most relatable thing I've seen in a long time on a baseball field of like, yeah, I would probably tweak my hamstring trying to go all out second to home to win or tie the game. So in that aspect, very relatable by the White Sox here. But this is, I mean, it would have been close-ish, I think, but he's he's
in there,
especially with the throw being off. And you can tell right there he's not feeling great.
It is brutal. But that's the way the cookie crumbles right there. And the White Sox lose their 7th straight. And as we talk right now, they might be on their way to their 8th straight loss. Or at least the last time I had it up there. Yep, they are down 6-1 in the bottom of the 8th as the Guardians look to continue to get back on the right track here and try to push their way to 500. They'd get to 6-6 with a victory. Also, another game. The Angels are up 11-1, by the way. Maybe you need to buy the Angels. Up 11-1 on the Tampa Bay Rays in the Trop as we speak. Zach, a couple other things I thought was interesting today. One of those is that spring practices have been happening so far around college campuses and whatnot. The one that I'm really curious about is the one down in Chapel Hill. Why? Bill Belichick is mic'd up. So we haven't had a chance to really listen to all of it yet, but why don't we listen to it with you all? Zach, let's play that clip for you guys.
One. Mondo, we got to get the gloves on these guys. Just holding on every play, usually twice. Hey, good route. That's the right idea. It's close. Good job on the split safeties. Yeah. We hit him in no huddle. We hit him here. At least we're throwing the ball to the right place. Second down. We're live. Tackle in front. Tackle in front. This is live. It's live. Tackle in front. Stay off the quarterback.
Come off the edge and this should run. You don't want me to hit him from the side, do you?
No, we know you got him. Get on the sideline. Tag off. Tag off. Stay off the quarterback. Tag off on the runners. This is not live. But we're competing here. You got a lot of pressure anyway. Just clear him. That'll clear him. All right, here we go. First down. Hold on. Freddie, 4 seconds.
4 seconds. Hey, one play.
We'll put it on the 9. Good call, Bobby. You're getting those. You're getting a lot of those. Like, damn near every call you make's a good call. I'm telling you.
Going to Ripken Academy soon.
Yeah. Seam. Then we hit.
Opposite of rotation, yep.
Then we hit a
In
cut, and then we hit a.
Big ball.
That's how you move the ball down the field. You got to hit some of those plays. And look, there were still 30 seconds left on the clock. All right?
Yes, sir.
Nice job. Nice job. What was the next play we hit? An in cut. Then was the last play we hit? Go against there. That's how you move the ball. You got to hit some of those plays. It's a lot quieter over there on defense when we make a few plays. That's how we shut them up. Right? You shut.
So looking at that, I'll be honest, I was looking for a little grumpy, maybe drop some F-bombs, but I know it's college and it's mic'd up. But that seemed like a kind of relatively relaxed Bill Belichick.
It's got to rock to be like just a player at UNC right now and Bill Belichick's your coach. Like, that's got to be such a cool thing. And I agree with Joey here. I'm very, not even just the Ravens, but every UNC player I think now has more value in the NFL draft solely because teams are going to look at it and they're going to be like, all right, Bill liked him. He's been under Bill Belichick this year. You know, it maybe if you're deciding between two guys, they might lean the UNC guy because you think, okay, he might be more pro ready at this moment solely because he's been in, you know, Bill Belichick blatantly said in his opening press conference, he's like, we are going to be a prep school for the NFL pretty much. He's like, we're teaching you how to be a pro here. You are going to leave here knowing how to play in the National Football League. So that's the cool thing is I think Bill Belichick, I'm not sure how long he stays there. You know, we'll see with that, but I think he's going to do some fun things. UNC is going to be a fun program to watch over the next year or so for as long as he's there. Because I want to see how he can build that team. If he stays there 3 years, no doubt in my mind they'd be competing at least in the playoff in the next 3.
Interesting. In the playoff, well, the ACC, you know,
yeah, it's not the most competitive. You know, you go out there and you win the ACC, that's going to get you in. You really are competing.
It honestly might be better than the SEC. We really need Nick Moore on here.
Yeah, we're talking college football. We need Nick Moore.
We need Nick Moore on here. That's death taxes, and no one gets more riled up than Nick Moore when it comes to Georgia football and the SEC. But I'm with you, Zach. I think that it's interesting to watch, but I am buying that the UNC, the Tar Heels, are going to be a better team in time. But we could be wrong. You know what we're not wrong about, though, Zach?
What's that?
We're not wrong about that. Dallas might think that they made a mistake. And we're talking about in the NBA. The Dallas Mavericks played Los Angeles Lakers last night.
Bloodbath.
And it was a tribute to Luka Doncic. And also, this is a great reminder for every sports fan out there when people are attached to a city. This was the full example of a player and a city attached to each other. And the organization moves off from them, right? There's no doubt about it. Luka's very emotional before the game, and then he drops 31 in the first half, Zach, on them. And actually, I think there's a video. I was trying to find the Mark. Do you see that photo of Mark Cuban just with his hands in his head, shaking his head? Like, what the hell is happening here?
Let me find it.
It should be on the Sports Illustrated. Mark Cuban's reaction to the Fire Nico chants during Lakers Mavs. And you can just tell he's just staring there going, how the hell did this kind of happen? That's my takeaway from it. And for the Lakers, yeah, good. They got a guy that I know that everyone has worries on weaknesses of players. But I read something on a business sense, Zach. They think that the Mavericks could lose 8 figures on business alone because of the international market of losing Luka and who watches and supports the Dallas Mavericks because he was there.
Oh, this was a colossal mess up. I mean, from a basketball standpoint, from a business standpoint, from an organizational standpoint, like every part of this was just, I don't understand it. They were like, okay, we're going to go. They were going to go all in with Anthony Davis and Kyrie this year. And then Kyrie gets hurt, literally tears his ACL. Like 3 games later, Anthony Davis gets hurt like 5 days later. It just, as wrong as it could go, it's gone for the Dallas Mavericks. Fan base absolutely despises the team. We want to talk about they're going to lose, potentially 8 figures from international and all that. The fans hate the organization now. There is no, okay, at least we're moving in the right direction. Like there's half the fan base is, because obviously like even, taking it back to Baltimore, you have half the fan base trusts Elias and them, half the fan base despises them. But it's for most fan bases, even Ravens, Steelers, it's always kind of 50-50. I think this is as 100% as you can get that the fan base hates Nico Harrison and hates the Dallas Mavericks at at this moment, because it feels like they just genuinely were like, yeah, we don't want to deal with this anymore. Like you can give all the excuses of, oh, there's stuff behind the scenes we don't know about. Oh, he was quote unquote out of shape. He didn't look out of shape last night. I'll tell you that. He looked pretty damn good shape as he was dropping 45.
He looked like he was going to make a point that he should still be the franchise player for the Dallas Mavericks. And also, by the way, the Dallas Mavericks were in the NBA Finals just a season ago, which is
never seen a team just decide
crazy.
That they didn't want to win.
And look, I love Anthony Davis. I feel bad for Anthony Davis. You're traded there, not your control. He's a great, fantastic player, going to be a Hall of Fame player.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not that it does not that connection, and he has to wear that. Oh, we traded for you. Well, yeah, I'm a great player. I am. But that's just what Luka meant to Dallas, what he meant to so many fans. And we want to talk about a disconnect between fans and organization. Dallas is right up there with a team that had so much optimism for the future. You remove one guy, and look how quickly that has changed in Dallas. One other thing that at least was good from Dallas, though, Zach, to finish up the base or the basketball, and then we're going to get right back into the baseball conversations. How about LeBron James revealing his favorite player? You have that clip for us, Zach?
Yeah, I do.
Let's play that clip real quick.
Patrick Mahomes, Derrick Henry, I know you're a big NFL guy. You get a chance to kind of say hello and think about the football.
Absolutely, both of them. Obviously Pat Mahomes is, the best player in football, what football has today. Arguably one of the greatest ever played, even right now, where he's still young. And I've said over and over that King Henry is my favorite player in the National Football League. So it's great to have those guys in attendance and for us to be able to put on a performance in front of them like that.
All right, go get some rest.
So, also shout out Sports Spectrum right there. That was the audio from that in the video. LeBron's a big Derrick Henry fan. I mean, who isn't a Derrick Henry fan? Even when he was on the Titans doing that to Baltimore, dude, it was still not fun to watch against the Ravens, but there's not another player like him, not another running back like him out there.
Yeah, and then after the game, Derrick Henry tweeted this out earlier today, just saying, appreciate if the internet will let it pop up.
It's popped. I can see it.
Oh, we can. And it's just yeah. So, Derrick Henry, I guess this is after the game. It's so cool to see, especially, one, puts into perspective how freaking big Derrick Henry is, because
massive.
LeBron James is a massive human being. And for Derrick Henry to kind of stare eye and eye with him, obviously LeBron looks a little hunched over there, but those are two massive human beings at this moment.
Huge. And look, everyone's hoping in Baltimore that run it back, Derrick Henry can be that same Derrick Henry we saw this past season. Why wouldn't he? We will cover more as we get closer to the NFL draft, but it is baseball season, and it is great to hear that King Henry and the Baltimore Ravens, there's a lot of talent there. There's also a lot of talent with the Baltimore Orioles. Before we're going to do a little bit of Orioles talk here, there was some news here about the World Baseball Classic since we talked about it yesterday. Mark DeRosa was announced as the manager again for the team. So he's going to be leading them in 2026. That's very exciting news. We know how excited we're going to be over that. I'm curious on who is going to be a part of that for the for the World Baseball Classic. Time will tell.
Yeah.
Time will tell, but it is truly going to be a phenomenal time to watch baseball. It is the best thing to see. And also, I got distracted. I'll be honest. I just saw a picture of Ken Griffey Jr. doing photography at the Masters.
Yeah.
It's electric.
Talk about just side quest.
Yeah. Following the Randy Johnson footsteps right there of what's happening. But Ken Griffey Jr., one of the best that ever did it. Talk about it would have been possibly go down as one of the greatest, if not the greatest of all time, if he didn't have his injuries. Some were saying he could have been that way, especially the home run leader overall. Seeing that about that Luka trade, what would be the equivalent if the O's did something like this? Probably be trading Gunner.
It'd be Gunner. It would be trading. I'm trying to think of. Oh, yeah. I actually put I put something out about this one just first happened. I think it would be the equivalent of trading Gunnar Henderson for Mike Trout. Straight up. I think it would be okay, yeah, you're getting a great player, but you're getting an older more injury prone player that, yes, is a future Hall of Famer. Yes, is, maybe can help you in, help a position of need closer now. But everyone would be sitting there going, are you kidding me right now? Like, this is what we're doing. We're trading Gunnar for what, I'm not even sure what Mike Trout's age is right now. 33. I was going to say 32. I feel like that would probably be the closest thing, is like, yeah, you're getting a Hall of Famer, but it's injuries, always our problem. I think it would be like Gunnar Henderson for Mike Trout, straight up, where you'd be like, I understand what you're doing. Great job getting Mike Trout. Who did we give up for him? Type thing. So that's the closest that I've seen.
Yeah, I could, that's a pretty good.
I also put out there before, like a Carlos Correa, Gunnar for Carlos Correa, where you're like, Carlos Correa, good player, not Gunnar Henderson, and not the
20.
Future. Yeah.
And not 23 years old and could be a superstar MVP player for the next 10 to 15 years.
Yeah, and this is the other thing. So, yeah, Trout is only 33, which is ridiculous. He's been dominating for so long.
Forever.
Also shows you, unfortunately, just how much we're missing out on what could have, still is, but what honestly could have been one of the greatest careers of all time if injuries never got involved, because he still, if he injuries weren't a thing, all of that, his numbers would be even better than they already were, and we'd probably be looking at 4 or 5 more years of a dominant Mike Trout. But now, unfortunately, people are even like, oh, next 2-3 years, it might be it for Trout. Whereas before, you were probably looking at another 6 years and another 3 of very high level.
Yeah. Well, guess what? At least for right now, in the moment, Mike Trout is back.
Oh, yeah. When he plays, he's incredible.
He got 2 jacks today, 5 now on the season as they continue to pick it up there. And
without hesitation, first ballot.
Angels 8-4 on the season. Yeah, no doubt. Hall of Famer, first ballot Hall of Famer. One of the best center fielders when healthy we have seen. Yeah. When I move, you move, Zach.
Just like that. Yeah. If it wasn't for injuries, I would argue for a long time I was very much on before injuries kind of took over, that Mike Trout was on pace to be the greatest, if not the greatest, top 5 player of all time, when just statistically everything, because he was that, could hit 30, 40 home runs, was going to steal 30, 40 bases. He was just kind of that anomaly that came out of, came in the league at what, 2012-ish, 2011, and just hasn't looked back. Just simply hasn't looked back. I would have injuries. He's one of those guys where if injuries never stopped him, I think he very much firmly put himself into the top 10 all time.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. Zach, I'm pretty starving, dude. I'm very hungry.
Oh yeah. Also got the Iron Rooster next to you.
I am starving, but also I think I'm hungry because you told me about the new ballpark food that's out there right now.
Oh my goodness.
And we're going to continue that with the Iron Rooster in the future. But Zach, talk to the people about what just got released.
Yeah. So let me pull it up real fast. We have some more food. Darren Rovell. Where is it real fast? Gosh, this is just unbelievable. Let me share my screen so you all can see it. But this needs to happen. This needs to happen. We got new at Braves games, the home run stack.
Holy shirts and pants.
Home run stack. We're sitting there. You got 2 Angus patties, candied bacon, house smoked brisket, red slaw, onion rings, curly fries with Carolina barbecue, and Coca-Cola barbecue. This is, my goodness.
That is a mammoth of a sandwich. Mammoth. I'm going to send that to Kyle right now.
Yeah, I was going to say,
this is
holy crap. That is one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my life.
Did he just post this, or was this yesterday?
April 8th. So they just released it in the
Oh
past
my
week.
goodness. Yep.
Mhm.
Going right to you, Kyle.
Yep. So just released 2 days ago. Oh my goodness. This would probably need to be a day where we didn't have 4.
Clear your schedule.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is probably a day where we can't have 4 other items because I will probably eat this entire thing.
Jake's gonna taste test it for us.
Jake, we need it. I need a written pros and cons of it. I need the flavors in depth, what we're missing out, because honestly, this looks like one of the best things you can ever eat.
It's like I would enjoy every second of it, and I might have immediate regret at the same time.
Oh, it's like the warehouse dog last year.
My goodness.
When we all ate a warehouse dog and you were like going down, you're like, this is some great flavor. Like, this is fantastic. And then like 4 innings later,
yeah,
you realize that you ate a 22-inch hot dog with everything you can imagine on it. And you were like kind of sitting there and you're like, this was a poor decision. That was when it was like, yeah, this is a split type of thing.
Yeah. I don't like, no, I should say I do split food, but with my fiance, not with other people. If she wants some food, I'll give Jamie some food, but for me, it's like, I'm going to take that task on myself. Is it a fool's task? You're probably, but I'm up for the challenge nonetheless. And hey, if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show. We're live every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 2:30 to 4:30 roughly. Sometimes we finish ahead of time if we got what we got out of the way. We've talked a lot of things so far here, Zach. As we get back into a little bit of conversation around maybe the Orioles, since we did talk a little bit of the buy or sell on teams. We talked about how there's a lot of teams out there that are trying to figure it out. Baltimore being one of them. I think it could be a good conversation for us to have when the Orioles pitching staff has been the conversation piece. Is that a fair assessment?
Does anything happen with the Orioles pitching staff?
No, I just think going deeper into the games has been one of those things.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt about it. But we did have Jim Palmer on.
Oh, and then real fast, actually. Did mean to put this up.
Well,
just saw this, Laura, so appreciate you for that.
I mean, well, clearly, yes. As we can see, Laura, thank you, because as you can see, we're still having some difficulties here.
A little blurry, but we make it through.
If I were to tell you, and Brad would be shaking his head, dude, this is why we're switching. It's why we're going to get the fiber optic internet or whatever the hell we're going to get. This is the reason, is because we can't afford this to be the case with all the beautiful people out here watching us continue to try to make something out of who knows what. But we try our best, but it does better when we have the right connection.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does. Thank you, Laura. The Orioles in pitching, okay? Their starting staff has been the big part where they haven't gotten deeper into games, Zach. So I actually wanted to play this clip from Jim Palmer about talking about how to pitch in certain sequences and situations. I want to play that clip, and then we're going to react on the other side of it.
He's always talked about it. That guy throws the unexpected. Well, if you're not going to be overpowering, throw the unexpected. Pitch to both sides of the plate. They don't teach that anymore. I talked to Drew French, who did a great job as our first-year pitching coach last year in 2024. I said, and they asked me, your dad got guys to come down to spring training this year. I said, so if I come down, can I teach them to throw the ball low and away? He said, Jim, the average major league pitcher misses their target by 9 inches. And then I watched the video the other day. It's about 12 and a half inches. So the plate's 17 inches wide. And if, in the old days, you lived on the corners.
Yep.
You threw strike one away. That was the Oriole. If you pitched for the White Sox and Johnny Sane, it was kind of like today, spin the ball, but George Bamberger was, can you stay out of the middle of the plate? And now it's, okay, how hard do I throw? Can I pitch the ball? Do I throw strikes?
Yeah.
We were talking about Batista. He doesn't need, he was always overpowering. So probably going to have a little problem because he's not a guy that's going to make quality pitches. So if he doesn't get back to 99 or whatever, or if the split stays up or whatever,
yeah,
he probably won't be as overpowering. Hopefully, when he gets, better feel, which is, something, you don't pitch for 2 years.
So right there, Jim talks about, the ability to pitch from side to side. And the game has changed. So I want people to understand this isn't me going back, well, the old way is better than the new way. It's just different. But the concept that plays, try to create the unexpected and figure out what works for you. And you got to pitch accordingly. Not everyone is overpowering. That's still true. Players have caught up to velo. It's different if you can throw 100 if you throw 93, 94. There's a big difference. You got to know how to locate your stuff, and you got to be able to keep hitters off balance. Felix Bautista, they do set up middle of the plate. Why? You throw 100 and he misses it, 6 inches one way, 6 inches another way, still hard to hit 100. And then he has that splitter that is devastating, and therefore he's able to make up some ground because he has 2 pitches he can go off of there. But other pitchers, and I'm looking at it right now, Dean's a guy that has good stuff, but it doesn't have the overpowering where he can get away with things at all. Right now, and that's been something with Dean. Dean's not walking a lot of guys. He's not. He's thrown 14 innings. He's walked 3 batters. Problem is, he's given up 21 hits.
Yeah.
So there's pitches in the zone. He sometimes has been a little bit unlucky, but he's going to have to do a better job of trying to put some guys away. But then on the flip side, though, if you walk guys, that's where problems can be more, are going to be glaring. Charlie Morton has 8 walks.
Yeah.
His first 3 outings. He
5
was not
of
a
which came in the last outing. And we talked about, if you watched his last outing, it wasn't that, he gave up the 2 home runs and, but only reason they were backbreaking is because they were multi-home run, it was 2-run shots because of walks. If you can't command the zone, if a guy hits a single off you, that's going to happen. If you put the guy on, that's different.
Yeah. And just like this whole conversation, Mouse Talk, thank you for the comment. But don't you feel like pitchers sacrifice command for velocity? Yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. And that is a conversation of knowing what you have to be, and Jim Thome said the quote was, know thyself. Charlie Manuel, old manager for the Phillies, was hitting coach with Jim Thome as well when he's coming up through the system. That was a conversation, is you got to figure out what works for you. And yes, guys are saying, hey, if you can throw for velo and you have a good breaking ball that can spin, throw that and don't be as worried about being as precise. The reality is some guys you have to be precise. And the best ones, though, if you have the skill and you're precise, you're going to get away with more. We mentioned Spencer Strider earlier. Spencer Strider, when he throws 100, I know there's a stat there on how many extra base hits he allows on a pitch of 100 over the part of the plate. It's low, and he can get away with that. But that's his specific case. Same can probably be said about Felix Bautista and anybody else in that situation. But other pitchers, that's the majority. You're going to have to be able to keep hitters off balance. And Charlie Morton's a guy, the velo is looking good for him. But what works for him is being able to pitch off of that pitch. And actually, his curveball has been the Mr. Dependable. He's not landing it as well, and he's not having as much success with that pitch, to be specific. So if that's not working, you got to make sure that your changeup's working in well. You're able to then locate that fastball that can then set up those other pitches that you're struggling for. It all goes hand in hand. Does that make sense, Zach? It all goes hand in hand with what you're trying to do.
Yeah, and I think, especially with, sacrificing command for velo, it is, I guess, the reasoning is if you miss your spot, Jim saying it's about 9 to 12 inches that they're missing their spot. Drew French said 9, and Jim said it's closer to 12. If you're going to miss your spot by 12 inches, I think a lot of pitchers are going to say, if I'm going to, miss my spot and hang a ball, I would rather it be 100 than 93. And so I get that. But at the same time, throwing 100 is awesome. But throwing 100 with 4 walks a game and you don't know where it's going, not putting it in the zone, there has to be that balance. And I think that's where, I always say, like the Zach Eflins, the Saganos, they pitch, they don't throw. There are some guys who throw. I would put Felix in that category of he knows his stuff is overpowering. He knows if he shows you 101, 101, 101, and then drops the splitter, it doesn't matter if the 101 went a little higher than he wanted, a little lower than he wanted, maybe got caught too much of the zone. If that's your opportunity, you have to hit 101 while also knowing in the back of your mind, hey, this might be the splitter, and I might have to, that split second of, is that the splitter? Oh, it's down the middle. Can't get to it. It's 101. It helps. It does help. But for some guys, it feels like they're trying too much to be, they're overthrowing because they're like, I'd rather throw 101 than my 98 I sit at. Whereas if you throw 98, they can locate it. It's when they're overthrowing, trying to get velo that, man, you can see guys where they lose control.
There's a few guys that can actually be the throwers and not, can just, hey, just be in the zone and that's fine. Like I'd even put Soto in that zone. Gregory Soto, I'd put, hey, throw it in the zone. You got good stuff. Can be overpowering. You're from the left side. Great. But guys that need to pitch, Cade Povich needs to be able to work his stuff, mix and match. And so far when he does that, I think he's going to have success. You just mentioned a guy like Zach Eflin. Dean Kramer's going to have to be that way. Charlie Morton, that's how he's had success. He's had to pitch around. Most guys are in that situation. Sagano, perfect example. He's not a guy that's going to blow it by you, but he knows what he wants to do, and that's going to dictate whether he's going to have success or not, is if his game plan and his location is good.
And he understands that, so he's not going to try to strike you out because he knows that's not his game. Sagano, if he gets strikeouts, cool. That's awesome for him, but he never goes into an at-bat, maybe unless it's, guy on third, less than, 2 outs or something. You're like, we got to get this guy to strike out. He's looking for weak contact. He's avoiding barrels. He doesn't care of if he leaves a game with 10 strikeouts. He wants to go as deep into the game as possible and allow as few runs as possible. That's why when he's on, you're going to see he's going to be quick innings. It's going to be, 10 to 15 pitch innings. And it's not going to be, oh, he struck out 2 guys that inning. It's going to be, hey, he got 2 first pitch pop-ups. Hey, on the second pitch, he got the weak ground ball to second base because he knows how to pitch. He can read the bat. I think, and you've talked about that with Zach Eflin, it's the ability to read the hitter. Oh, he wasn't looking for that. Oh, he was late on that. Let me throw this in because he's going to be looking for that now to play off it. So let me toss, instead of throwing my sinker here, let me throw the cutter because he's looking for the sinker to move this way. But if I hit him with the cutter in the same tunnel, he's going to be lost. And that's where you find these guys and you see jam bats, you see these weak, rolling over, stuff like that, because they're controlling the game. They're not just saying, I'm throwing 102. If you hit it, you hit it. They're going, okay, you were late on that. It's a game for them. It's a chess match.
And it has to be. I mean, you go back to the old days, Greg Maddux, not saying old days, but, the past couple decades, Greg Maddux, no one is better at that than him, of being able to mix and match. When Jake Arrieta left the Baltimore Orioles, that'll probably be a name that resonates here.
Oh.
Jake Arrieta had great stuff, but he had to learn how to pitch, and he left. And the reason he had success then is because he figured out how to mix his pitches to be effective. Kevin Gausman was a thrower, and he could throw, and he had came in throwing fuzz. And then you know what? His velo's not as high as it was, but guess what? He knows what he's doing. Had a great outing yesterday for the Toronto Blue Jays. Really, really talented guy, but you got to figure out what is going to work for you. And for starters, if you're trying to go deeper into the games, that's what you're going to have to do. And I know it's a different day and age. They're not looking for guys to go more than 6 innings. Personally, though, I'm trying to have my starter go as deep as he can because I want to try to save the bullpen. That's just always my opinion, but my opinion doesn't always matter.
I saw this. I wish I would have saved it, but it just talk about the different you just talked about. You'd like to see guys go deeper into ball games. I saw a video pop up on one of those old school baseball accounts on Twitter yesterday, and it was Jim Leland in the dugout smoking a cigarette between innings, contemplating whether or not to take his starter out in the 8th, who had 135 pitches. And it's like, it's just a different back then it was, okay, you're going to go the full 9. If something happens, then we'll pull you out sooner. But it's like, there was no, hey, we're going to, get to 6 so we can get to our setup guy, so we can get to our 7th inning guy, and then we're moving it to the closer. It was just genuinely, you're pitching today. Like it wasn't that, okay, we're going to try to get us 5 and keep us in the game, and then we're turning it over to the bullpen. It was, go get him, kid. You got it. And if shit hits the fan, then we'll adjust from there. But it is you no longer see that. Once it starts getting to 90, you're like, okay, we're going to get guys up in the bullpen. Even 80 pitches. I mean, to start the season, you see that around 70. But it is just a completely different mindset than it was before.
It is. And also there's a value. Like my biggest value, if you're going to spend money on a pitcher, can you be durable? When again, injuries happen. But can you be durable? Do you have a track record of that? Are you dependable?
Yeah.
And also, when we say eat innings, can you go the distance if we need you to?
Mm-hmm.
That was the part when you look at guys like Max Fried getting paid. Max Fried's healthy. The dude's he's gonna pitch a lot of innings. He can. He's very good. He knows what he's doing. Corbin Burns, early in the season, they didn't use him as much going deeper into the games. Later in the season, he did. Zach Eflin, if he didn't have the shoulder fatigue, his pitch count was extremely low. No doubt he could have gone another inning, maybe 2, depending on how quickly it went. That stuff does add up over time. And those are things that shouldn't be devalued because at the end of the day, this is what baseball should be no matter what. I don't care. The goal is to get guys out. You get them out. I don't care how you do it. You do it and you do it well. There should be a spot on anybody's roster because that's what you need. Now, the one I'm thinking about, Danny Coulomb was a big example. Danny Coulomb, I know he had the arm injuries. I know people are worried. But what did Danny know how to do?
Just get out.
He knew how to get people out.
I every single day.
But I digress. Hey,
he and Fuji every day I wake up wishing they were still on this ball club.
Fuji for just straight the vibes, man. There goes my hero.
I need him, and then not only he came with the package deal of the Fuji fan as well. So like it was a package deal.
Oh, he's amazing. There's a man.
Just I miss him every single day. It was brilliant because he threw fuzz, but he didn't know where it was going. Batter didn't know where it was going.
Isn't that the beauty?
It was just magical. It was magical.
Absolutely magic. Well, hey, we appreciate that, guys. And if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show. Again, if you're new to us, hit that like button. We'd appreciate it. And subscribe. We got a lot of great things planned. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. We're going to have more involved with food, cocktail, and community. And now that we're going to be rocking and rolling with the season into April, want you guys to stay tuned and be a part of it with us. We are in a moment going to open it up to our channel members to call in. We appreciate it. So if you want to be a part of the call-ins, hit that subscribe button. And then on top of it, hit that join button to become a Rips Good Kid or a Holy Shirts and Pants member. Holy Shirts and Pants members, for those that have emailed me, I've emailed you back about getting the right address for you guys to get your The O's Are Fine shirts. We haven't given them out yet to really anybody. So here's your chance, you guys, and thank you for being a Holy Shirts and Pants member. We appreciate each and every one of you. Whew, Zach, it is Throwback Thursday. You're trying to have me find some old stories and photos of someone rounding the bases towards the end of the game. I do have a story that it's about rounding the bases, but it's not about scoring a run. It wasn't to end the game. But damn, did that shit hurt. Should I explain it? Oh, no. Did not trip. Should I have a little story time before we do the call-ins?
And I'll put the link for call-ins in the members.
In the members? Perfect. So let me take you back. Maybe this is just everything happens in Hagerstown. Well, let's take you back to Hagerstown in 2018. I'm playing for the Delmarva Shorebirds. And we were playing the Hagerstown Suns. And it is a cold day. It's early in the season. And I was going back and forth for the longest time when I DH a game, Zach. Do I wear a cup? Do you wear a cup? Because typically you're like, well, I'm not going to be in the field. Why would I need to wear a cup? So I decided, all right, I'm not going to wear a cup while I DH today. So I get a hit my first at bat, feel good. It's great. Later on in the game, we're leading, but we need a little insurance. And actually, what happened? Got a base hit. I actually hit my bat on the catcher's glove. So it was a catcher's interference, but I hit a line drive still, humble brag, right back up the middle into center and broke my bat at the same time. But what really happened in the process is I'm rounding first base, and there's going to be a play at home, Zach. So I see the center fielder come up and throw a strike to try to get the runner trying to score. So when I see the ball, the trajectory, I'm going, oh, he overshot the cutoff man. I'm going to start to take second base. Well, the catcher realized he couldn't get the guy tagged out at home. So the catcher comes up to catch this thing. So he gets it and tries to gun me down at second base. And you know the Super Mario jump, like dun 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 dun,
Yeah,
dun, like that.
Mm-hmm.
I slid, and my body is open, and I get the shot from the catcher as I'm sliding right to the
Mm-hmm.
right in the family jewels, and I am stumbling, and I roll over. I go, it's terrible. And actually, Luis Garcia, who's the second baseman for the Nationals, he goes, Poppy, you okay? I go, no. He goes, can't say this on air. I probably could. But he saw what happened, and he starts dying. And the umpire goes, hey, Rip, do you need a moment? I go, I might need 2. Well, I might not have 2 anymore, but I need something. Maybe give me 2 minutes. And that was the recollection of round the bases. I stayed in the game, but I always wore a cup when I DH'd after that. How about that? Right. Yeah, I was right in the mommy and daddy button, to be honest.
That's definitely not what you want to see there. But at least you stay in the game. Tough. Watch a lot of hockey.
It was it's like, you haven't seen the Austin Powers, but it's like, let me check to make sure everything's okay. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, the gang's all there. That's what I was slightly concerned about. But your boy got an RBI, had 2 hits on that game, and did great. Actually hit 3-0. I think we had 300 on the road that year. Hit a $190 at home.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that. You road warrior, but
road warrior.
Home crowd must have been in your head.
Yeah, the 27 people that showed up for that game.
Sure, it was
in Hagerstown.
Can hear all the heckles. At least the toast man wasn't there.
He might as well have been there. I might have been hearing him in my head after that.
Yeah.
Power up. Well, why don't we power up these call-ins with our listeners here? And I think our first, who do we have on first here, Zach? Steve. Let's bring Steve on.
Hello, guys.
Steve.
Man, I wanted to go to that Tides game today. Strider versus Gibson. I wanted to go, but unfortunately I had something come up.
That'd have been a good one to see, man. Well, you would have seen Strider just absolutely shove it.
Yeah, 13 Ks.
Right up north his ass.
And Gwinnett won 6-1.
Yeah, so it's usually how it goes. Pitcher shoves, good chance you're going to win the game. But hey, the good thing was I was just happy Gibby looked good. He looked solid.
I saw the highlights on X, and yeah, Gibson did look good. I'm just wondering when his next start's going to be, because he only went 3 1/3 today.
Yeah, 47 pitches.
So maybe next outing he'll probably go 5.
I think they're going to go. They want to try to get the up and down, Steve, but my guess is it's probably more around pitch count than anything else. So they're saying like, hey, all right, 45 was probably that number for Gibby. Next, I would say is, all right, let's try to stretch this to 55, 60 and see what we can get that to. And they get that to that. Then we can keep going up. I think for the Orioles to get him to Baltimore, I'm thinking they want to make sure he's gotten to 75 pitches would be my guess. 90 is the goal, but I think in the dire time, 75 might be that sweet spot of a number, which would probably be, in my mind, two more starts away.
Agreed. And we know it's Sagano tomorrow night, Povich on the Orange Out Saturday. Nobody has been announced for Sunday. What are the chances they bring up Brandon Young?
It's a good question. Honestly, is there a chance? You're telling me there's a chance, Steve? Zach, I mean, there is a chance. Also, with the off day and you save a guy, I mean, you could just plug back in.
Guess
who am I blanking?
That would be Morton at this. Well, I mean, yeah, I guess maybe you go Morton.
Well, Morton pitched on Tuesday, so then he'd have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Pitch again on the 5th day, so it could be Charlie. So it's either a call-up or Charlie. Lord knows it cannot be a bullpen game.
No.
So I think
no.
I wouldn't do it this way, Steve. I don't think it's going to be there's definitely a possibility it could be someone coming up from the minors, no doubt about it, but wouldn't be surprised if Charlie is in that swirl of it. And also for time, Steve, we'll have one more thought, and then just so I can keep it rolling because we got a few people, I want to try to keep it on track. But last comments from you.
I'm gonna say it. The O's are fine. We're early. It's still early. This offense will get it together.
Sound the sirens, baby. Yeah. See, you know what, Steve? Should I just bring it back this year? Should I just bring it back? I'll just bring it on back. Those are fine. And you know what, though, to finish it off, I'm with you. And I've said this before, and I said it earlier in the show, 30 to 60 days, we're going to find out about where this team is. The people that are saying this team is terrible, they're cooked, they're done, they could be right, but also in 30 to 60 days, they can be proven wrong. Or we're still sitting here going, well, damn, they're still stuck in the mud, but they're in the hunt. And all we're asking for is, can the Birds be in the hunt when we get deeper into the season and some of these guys can get healthy? But, Steve, I appreciate your time, man. Hey, I might be making my way back down to your neck of the woods in the future, so I'll have to let you know, okay?
Well, I'm actually thinking about coming up in June for the Tigers and Angels series.
Well, then you better let us know, all right?
You know it.
All right. Cheers, Steve. Appreciate you. Thank you. And the O's are fine.
The O's
See,
are fine.
I just needed someone else to say it first.
Just need someone else to say it. I agree. It's as simple as that sometimes. You just need the confidence. If the whole organization, the whole fan base just says the O's are fine, they're going to be fine. Simple math.
They're going to be fine. All right. Who we got next on the caller line?
We got we're heading to Arkansas.
We're heading down to Arkansas. Arkansas. There he is. Joe.
Howdy, fellas. How we doing on this fantastic day?
Oh, we're doing good on this Thursday. How are we doing down south?
We're good. I'm sitting on the corner of Happy and Healthy right now, so we're doing all right.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's 82 and breezy today, so it's a nice, beautiful day.
Yeah, it's not going to be that up here in about a few hours. It was also a little bit brisk.
Yeah, it's
a little bit brisk up here.
It's like 50s. You know?
And it's going to rain.
Yeah. Oh, well, yesterday. I
rain.
will say the one comment from yesterday when we were talking to Daniel, and he was like, yeah, I had to throw on my sweatshirt. It was low 70s today. I was like, what are we talking about? It's cold. I was like, we woke up in 40-degree weather here on April 9th yesterday.
Yeah, it's probably going to rain again here, but I don't need a boat this week. Last week we needed a boat. We got about 12 inches of rain in 48 hours, so it was crazy. And last reported there was 11 tornadoes counted this morning by National Weather Service. So it was pretty active last
Dang,
week.
well, I missed the last one. It's pretty active. I missed the amount of tornadoes. But
11.
I know that it's been 11. Wow.
Yeah.
Ravaged. Well, I'm glad that's passed.
That's an early count. They're still counting, so they're probably more.
Goodness gracious. Well, I hope, everyone hope they're staying safe and they're okay. Hey, Joe, I got to get your take then on the Birds, man. What you got for me?
I think we're doing okay. I mean, I'm really concerned about the consistency in the lineups. That's the only thing. Like, I mean, that's how you get revved up. You play every day. You know who's playing next to you. And that's my main concern. I understand trying to figure out what works the best, but at the same time, that's kind of what spring training's for, to learn who your best players are and how to use them. And we're multiple years into this regime, and I mean, it's not like these guys are rookies. Gunner's not a rookie. Westy's not a rookie. They've been playing ball together for a few years. You maybe figure out about the new guys with O'Neill, Laureano, and Sanchez to see where they fit, but I don't get why you're not just playing Jackson Holiday every day to get him them left-handed at-bats. That's confusing to me. But I'm not the manager of the team. I'm not ready to jump off a bridge. It's 13 games of 162. You know, it's a long stretch. Come back at me in June, and if we're 15 games under 500 after the College World Series ends, I'll be putting more focus on Orioles energy. Like I got good baseball vibes still, so I'm not focused all in Oriole land of it's the end of the world yet. Maybe in June.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Get to June and see what's happening here. And one thing on the consistency, and maybe when we wrap up Collins, if we feel like we'll talk about more of the consistency of the lineups. But Joe, you know, I'm with you on. I would love to see guys. Hey, if he's your guy, give him the at bats, sink or swim. I do understand they're trying to protect Jackson a little bit more, but overall, if he is your guy, let him get his reps. I understand the bench guys, you want to get them some reps so they're not just going cold turkey all the time, even though that's kind of what they have to sign up for, and it's a hard job to do. But I'd rather, if it's true, if this is the case, I'd rather them try to do this earlier. The one that's going to always continue to get at bats is going to be Gary Sanchez of filling in. Why? Just because the catching position is so taxing that they're going to spell Adler. Even if he catches 120 games, they're still going to spell him for 42, you know? So I think that's something to monitor. But I'm hoping, I mean, down the stretch, as these summer months heat up as we get closer, I hope we see those guys getting those everyday at bats, because that's the only way they're going to continue to learn at the highest level. Hey, Joe, one more thing then before we go. I mean, do you want to talk baseball, or you got an Arkansas fact for me hiding in the weeds?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
One, Mr. Nick Moore, please make an appearance on Tuesday, because the Hogs are going to trounce the Dogs this weekend.
Oh,
sweep. We're going to Athens and sweeping. Clip it. Let's go. Show your face, buddy. Let's go. It's
text them right now.
The weekend to come out of hiding. If we lose, I'll take my medicine. It's all right. But we're gonna sweep your ass. We're number one for a reason.
I was gonna say number one Hogs for a reason.
Yes, sir. But as far as the fact, we got the chocolate gravy cook-off coming on May 2nd in Searcy, Arkansas. So there will be a bunch of people cooking up the chocolate gravy. I'd like to see Kyle cook some chocolate gravy next week. I can't really describe the taste or how it goes. I'll let the chef mix that up and make you some and see what you all think. But chocolate gravy cook-off coming May 2nd, Searcy, Arkansas.
Do we dare ask Kyle about chocolate gravy reimagining up here?
We might have to do that when the cook-off is.
Maybe that is what we do, Joe, on May 2nd. Kyle might be like, you must be joking, right? I'm like, hey, well, we heard it's a thing down in Arkansas. And if Joe said
It's very popular, and it tastes good. It's not. I mean, I don't get it all the time, but it's not bad. It's a nice sweet chocolate gravy.
Well, as we know, it's always the more you know with Joe. Hey, Joe, I appreciate you, man. Thank you. It's good to hear your voice. The chocolate and gravy with how my stomach's been makes me a little bit nauseous to think about, but I am excited about trying it. And as always, the O's are fine, my friend. And I passed the message along to Nick Moore. So I will let you know when I get a response from him. All right. But you be good this rest of Thursday.
I'm going to try. This truck's pretty empty now. It's super busy this month. So
that's good.
They got me rocking and rolling. So and I like my hat. You see my hat?
It's looking good, man. I got one of my own.
Good day to be a hat.
Yeah, good day to be a hat, man. Good day to be a hat. All right, Joe, appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Appreciate you, Joe.
Arkansas Joe, the more you know.
More you know.
The more you know. And you put the link in for channel members, correct,
yes.
Zach?
Yeah.
So saying is the link for the call-ins, are they not taking any more today? The call-ins are, if you go to the YouTube post, call-ins are available right there.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a channel member.
Yep.
Correct?
Yep.
Boom. Whammy. Who we got next?
Next we got Samuel.
Samuel, what's going on? Guys? How you doing?
Rip, how the heck are you doing, man?
Well, doing great. Actually was on 105.7 for 4 hours earlier. Then hopped right on here. So we're grinding, man, but I can't complain. Finally getting back to 100%. But talk to me. Yeah. What's on your mind?
Yeah, a couple things. Was just curious to hear your feedback on this. I mean, obviously, this dates back to, when, you're seeing the stats, you're seeing the tweets of in the last 100 plus games, they're 5 or 6 under 500 or something like that. And so I think that's really where the frustration comes from for myself and other fans. It's just like it's more than just 13 games. But I'm curious though if Hyde, and I think it's more of a when and not an if. But if, Hyde gets tossed, who do you think they replace him with? Do you think it's Buck, your old manager, or do you think they bring in some other dude?
Man, we got the what ifs already, Samuel, on April 10th.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think that they would, in general, for this first year, I don't think that they'd ever put Buck in that position personally. And right now, I don't think that'd be fair to him. And I think it would revert to the bench coach if it would be anything with Robinson. Just because of how it's laid out. I think that although, Buck's great. I love Buck. I think that would put him in a tough position if you were ever going to consider him in the future. And I do understand to your comment about with last year and these 100 games and the frustrations. It's not just this 13 games. I do try to differentiate where I do understand there are some themes that people are worried about. And I'm also, when I say all this, it's not that I'm agreeing with what the team does on a day-to-day basis. Just on a scale of 162, what happened last year, we got to close the door on that and give this team an opportunity to show what they can do, even if some of those things are still there. But like for me, a difference, I said it before, Jackson is different than what he was in 2024 when he came up or came back up. Adley looks more like that Adley we saw at the first half, not the second Adley. Gunnar is not playing like an MVP because this is his spring training. So there's so many different factors that it's hard for me to say, yep, it's the same things, because there are different circumstances, but I do understand that the themes are similar, if that makes sense.
No, that makes total sense.
I just wanted you to
What's up?
Yeah. No, I was saying I'm glad you know that. I'm glad that works, and I'm sorry our internet's up and down at times, but we're fighting over here. What else is on your mind?
And one thing I'm really excited for, is seeing Gibby back in action. I saw that his final stat line was like 3 1/3, I think is what the Tides put him at. Struck out 4. And I live in Omaha right now. And so they're actually coming to play the Chasers here in, I think next Monday or Tuesday, they're in town. So I'm going to catch a couple games. Cheap tickets, the stadium there is amazing. So I'm going to catch a couple games, hoping to see Gibby in action there, and was really hoping to see Sammy down there, but doesn't look like he'll be in the lineup with that hammy injury. So that's a little rough. send him back. But I'm definitely curious though. I'm not sure how much you can say about this, but how involved is your dad in the ownership? Like, is he in Rubenstein's ear? Like, is he kind of saying, hey, this has to be done, we should sign this guy, we should do this? Like what exactly does he do, if you can say?
Well, I appreciate it. I mean, there's certain things just for, just to be fair. And I try to be transparent. There are certain things that I won't talk about, but on this case, Mike Elias, he's given the responsibility to run the team. That's his job. That's the objective. David and Mike Arrighetti and the owners, they're trying to support the team as much as possible. Where my dad comes into this is he knows. So his goal is, as you continue to learn, is how can he try to help this team the best that it can be. For him, whether that is being a lending ear, if it's helping to talk things through, he's going to do whatever he can. And that's why I don't want to divulge all the specifics, but I can say as he gets more acclimated. He, you've heard me talk about how I talk about the game and what I do. The lineage comes down from talking with him and my grandfather and my uncle. So, no one knows the game better than he does. So
for sure.
I'm curious. I'm even curious for myself as that evolves, but it is still very fresh. As much as we want to think, hey, it's a year in to the ownership, everyone's still trying to find their footing on how they can best help. And the one thing I'll say to O's fans is that even for the ownership, even though they're saying, well, why didn't we do more of this or of that? They're also not trying to be the ownership that wants to take over and try to say it's do something without, how do I rephrase this? They understand that they're coming into a situation that they need to know more about it. And they don't want to jump in and take control of something. They're going to trust the people that they have and give them the best resources. And I think over time it's going to play out. But in 1 year, it's sometimes it's hard to have that maybe come to fruition the way that you want.
No, for sure. And I think,
sense?
100%. And it was definitely encouraging to see the reports that Rock and the others were putting out about the Corbin Burns offer that they put out. Obviously it missed the mark, but I mean, to see that they were willing to float out that much money per year to Burns, I mean, it was encouraging, I think, to see that, okay, they actually were serious. Elias was good. It was really trying to get him. And, it didn't work out, but hey, it shows us, I think, that he's in on trying to spend and trying to build a good team. And so, and last thing I'll say, I don't want to take up too much of y'all's time, but definitely encouraging for the rest of the year. Like I said, the lineup top to bottom, I always say this when I go on Kevin and Zach's channel, the lineup top to bottom is just stacked. Like the fact that Mountie is batting like between the 6 and 8 spot is like, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely crazy. And then Jackson, who's I think one of the best hitters right now, batting 9th, it's like you got a top lineup if one of your best hitters is hitting bottom 3. And so I just think it's just a matter of time. I think obviously pitching's got to get it together. That's just the name of the game, but definitely not ready to jump ship. I got hope in these guys. And yeah, I mean, 13 games in, we got 149 to go. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Well, hey, I appreciate it, Sam. Thank you for joining us. And I'll finish the question as we take you off the screen, but appreciate all your time. And to kind of wrap this all in, I'm with you with this. The Orioles lineup has one of the highest ceilings, and that's what we see. So if they can continue to put things together, and I'll tell you what, it's going to make a big difference, Zach, when your MVP Gunnar Henderson starts swinging. A guy that had 75 extra base hits last year has one to start this year so far, is 4 for 25, and a guy that would get on base, struck out 10 times, 1 or 2 walks. Things are going to change. And let's just hope the pitching staff can get together. But Sam, I appreciate you, man.
Thank you, Ryan. Yep.
For joining us. Thank you. Who do we got next as we keep rolling?
Going international. Old British Raven, Nick.
Hey,
Nick, how we doing, my friend?
I am doing brilliantly. How are you doing?
I'm doing much better. I'm doing much better. And I get to see you, so this is great.
I hear that you were taking part in the chocolate gravy contest.
I think I might have, to be honest, Yeah, I mean, you know what? I was thinking about it too. And I'm like, I went through all of it. I'm like, did I drink something? Did I eat something? Maybe it was just from the entire trip, just it finally just caught up with something in my stomach because it ran its course and your boy's back. But shirts and pants, man. If you talk to Zach and Kevin, I was hurting.
Yeah, kid was down for the count.
I was hurting, man. I couldn't speak without feeling like I was going to have an issue on air. But anyway, enough about my issues, Nick. Let's talk about what you got going on.
You know what? Obviously, whenever the games are really late here, it's really, really, really late. I remember getting off my first late call-in with Kevin and Zach. The clock behind me was almost 6 a.m., and I had a moment of immense clarity. You know what that moment of clarity was?
What was it?
We don't have to throw the towel in just yet. Because the O's are most definitely fine.
The O's are fine.
And I say this because you would much prefer to have these issues this end of the season rather than like last season, taking these issues into the playoffs. Now, it's not perfect, but if the Orioles can get back above water, they can get everything ironed out, we won't even remember this. We'll just be happy we're in the playoffs and maybe win a game.
Yeah, people won't.
Let's just say this: I think that's the
biggest
thing, low.
Nick, is last year. Yeah, you know what? And maybe that's what needs to happen. Is last year they started out so hot. I mean, people, man, you forget that the Orioles were the first team to 70 wins in all of baseball last year. It was, they started off. I brought this up multiple times. That June series versus the Phillies, that was kind of touted in MLB spaces as potentially it looked like the World Series preview. It was the two hottest teams you had Bradish, you had obviously Burns at the time, you had Grayson. They had their stars. It looked like the 3-game matchup. It was all aces, and it was literally looked like a preview for this is what we're going to get. Obviously injuries kicked in with Bradish, Wells, obviously, so things happen. But you're right. It's last year it was the opposite. So if the Orioles are going to, get their struggles out of the way and then get hot and carry that into the second half and down the stretch into the playoffs, obviously, now that's 149 games away. So it's a lot to talk about. But yeah, if you're going to have struggles, if you're going to find your footing, I'd rather it be on April 10th than October 10th.
Yeah, it's freaking April 10th. And I've tried to, I understand. And like I said, very well, the same people could be, hey, screw you, Ryan. I told you this team was doomed from the beginning. But if you look around, that's why we talked about it earlier, Nick. If you look around baseball, there's only a handful of teams that have gotten off to a hot start. 3 of them are in one division out west with the Dodgers, the Giants, the Gavin Sheets, San Diego Padres, the San Diego Gavin Sheetses. But the rest, the AL East is trying to put it all together. The Central's having issues. I mean, you get my point, Nick. You know what?
This is not the business end of the season.
Nope, it's a long way to go. And also, in the other parts is, if we want to do more of a dive in, the Nationals, when they won the World Series 6 years ago, they were 19-31, 12 games under 500. See what else happened there. The Mets last year went to the NLCS, Zach, and they were floundering, trying to be at 500 in mid-June.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go on a run. Yes, they lose to the eventual champion Dodgers, but they get in. They don't look back. They beat the Phillies, and then they make some noise. Just a good reminder. And also, Joe, I saw the comment that, the Ravens started 0-2 in football season. You got to play things out. You got to play things out and see what happens.
Absolutely, I agree. And like you said, it's a long season. It's not 38 games like the Premier League or whatever. It's not 17 games like the American football season. There are far too many opportunities going forward to fix this.
Yeah.
And until it's not mathematically possible, I'm wearing a Liverpool shirt today because I've been making this argument for 12 years. Liverpool have been a historically mediocre to / okay club since the 2000s. Unfortunately, I've always been the guy on Liverpool Twitter before Ravens Twitter that said, I'm not shutting up until it's mathematically impossible. And now I'm saying that again. It's not mathematically impossible. So we move forward.
Ooh.
Hope, baby.
As long as there's a chance.
So you're telling me there's a chance. 1 in 100? More like 1 in a million. So you're telling me there's a chance. It's one of the best.
So long
lines.
as the Orioles don't get food poisoning, there is a chance.
Yeah,
Yes,
well, you know,
sir.
that's been a thing so far this year, even in baseball.
Weirdly,
Cody
yeah.
Bellinger, Tanner Bybee. Be careful out there. Hey, Nick, before we let you go, any other things that are on your mind?
That's a very deep question.
Oh, God, well. I'm bracing myself.
I don't have anything brilliant to say. I was hoping that there would be more to follow. But I will say this.
I was going to say, Ryan, real
tomorrow
fast,
is another day.
Tomorrow's another day?
Oh, yeah.
Mm. And so long as the Orioles do not shit themselves, like you, Rip, we will be fine.
I knew you were going somewhere with this. I
had to lead you down the road. It's like a dark alleyway, much like the toilet room light when it's turned off and you're hugging the toilet because, you know, you ate dodgy food at a wedding. Let's be serious. What's a wedding without either A, a fight, or B, food poisoning? Is it a real wedding without those two things?
No, it's not.
Nick, it was great to see you again, my friend. Really great to see you. Holy
Can somebody check on Zach? Jesus
yeah,
Christ.
hey, Nick, but I miss seeing you. Appreciate you as always, man. And look forward to the next time we're talking, and hopefully it will not be jokes at my just probably will. All right, Nick, appreciate you, man.
Like
Thank you. Get some rest sometime. Damn it, get some rest. Love our community, man. Again, if you're new to the channel, we're doing our call-ins right now on the Ryan Ripken Show. If you want to call in sometime, click that join button. Become a channel member. It helps support the channel, helps us get new internet. Laura, thank you again.
Yes.
Where we're still, I don't know what the hell is going on
That was
today.
crazy.
It's still bothering the hell out of me. But show goes on. We got one more in the chamber here. I think Joey's behind the screens.
Joey.
Hey, everyone. What's going on? Hello. It's a good day. I mean, it's a little rainy, but still have plenty. It's not freezing cold or anything, so you can still get outside a little bit. No baseball, but whatever. We move.
Yeah, we move, man. We move. You know, we got to make our way back up to the Hollywood Casino. They were talking to me about the next time. We'll let you know when we're doing it. I got to try some of those restaurants out too, by the way. Apparently the sushi up there, the is it Nine Dragons?
Yep, Nine Dragons. At least the steakhouse.
Yeah. I'm going to
hit a
try
Final Cut.
both. Final Cut. Ooh. All right, so we got a plan next time up there. I can't.
Yeah. You know, I'll buy it for you. I'll bring a crew. Try to get the crowd going for the show.
Hey, that's what we need. That's what we need.
I'll try.
Hell yeah. But hey, Joey, talk to me. What's on your mind?
I'm approaching it seems like a day-to-day approach for me right now. I'm not trying to get too caught up in the expectations or what everything's going to end up like. I'm frustrated with what happened in Arizona because I really thought they should have won the second game of the series, like the no umpire call and Jorge getting thrown out at home. Just a very unfortunate turn of events. And it gave me a little hope, but these past two games have been like, it's when it rains, it pours. Like, people are really upset. And I just hope it's building it. I hope the guys see some of this negativity, like they're building a chip on their shoulder. Like they're not going to take it as like we're going to go down in the dumps. They want to prove everyone wrong. Like, I hope that's how this kind of turns out.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
And I think that's kind of something that, you know, as a professional athlete, it's something in the day of social media, it's even more important because if you think players don't see that stuff, they do. So it is something where you're like, okay, how do you respond in this adversity? Do they, we've seen so many teams, you start off slow and they crumble. And then other teams, like we were talking about, the Mets, teams like that, where they were struggling for a long time, but once they put it together and get rolling, it's hard to stop them.
Mm-hmm.
Who's our Grimace?
No,
who we rolling out there for Grimace, huh? Who's gonna be the mascot?
Oh gosh, it's a good question.
Who's
gonna be?
You got a giant crab, a Stucky's crab dog out there?
I'd say that, or get a plain dog.
Okay.
Oh God, yeah. They introduced a new runner to the race, Ryan Ripken, and the plain dog coming out there.
It's Ryan running by himself.
Yeah.
People just
they know.
People know. Oh goodness gracious, man. I'm hoping they give me a chance to go out there. It's time to shine.
Yeah, stretch before.
But yesterday in particular, man, there were so many hard hit balls going to like the corners in the outfield, and Arizona's defense is just so strong. Like Alec Thomas, Jake McCarthy, like it's just endless speed out there. So like these balls that maybe should land in against other teams are getting just eaten up. Like 100 mile per hour balls are dead right away. It was brutal.
Yeah, I mean, look, for me in general, the goal each time is as a hitter, go out and hit the ball hard somewhere. Obviously, you want to hit the ball hard where no one else is, but hit the ball hard somewhere. If it's into a double play, it's out a guy. You got to live with that because you eventually know you do that enough, opportunities are going to start falling your way. So I think this Orioles offense, they're going to put things together. I mean, their MO before was, they're not hitting enough home runs, but even when they've won games recently, they haven't been hitting many home runs. They've been doing a lot of different ways to manufacture those runs or driving them in. So things they got to improve on, but 5-8 is far from a cry for help, but it's definitely something where you're saying, hey, we want to win our first series. You got a divisional opponent coming to Baltimore and the Jays. What better time than right now to take a couple, win the series, and keep moving on what is a very, very long season, Zach.
It is.
Yeah, I didn't know if you know there's 149 left. Yeah.
149 left. Season.
Well, I know like last year we played Arizona around Mother's Day, and they had our number that series. Like Dean actually pitched against them, got rocked even worse than he did yesterday. So like it sucks to lose to them, but they're a good team. Like they have our number, and it is what it is.
Hey, you know what? It is. Some teams play you better than others too. And that's just the way the cookie crumbles. The goal is, though, can you just try to stack things together? My motto as well, if you don't win the series and if you don't win it, don't get swept. For the Orioles right now, they haven't won a series. Mm-hmm. They haven't got swept either. So, hey, just got to ride it out. Joey, before we let you go, anything else as a
my birthday's coming up next week on the 15th. I'm going down there for the games hopefully this weekend. Hopefully cheer them on. Tyler O'Neill is awesome. Every at bat that I see with Tyler O'Neill is a pleasure. Working the count, huge arms, and I'm ready to see him knock a ball over the fence. So excited to see it.
Hell yeah, Captain Biceps, man, doing his thing.
The ton.
And also, we'll talk to you before, but again, happy early birthday ahead of time here, birthday. Joey. Appreciate it. That means we're just gonna have to run back another sip and smile up at Hollywood Casino then to celebrate.
Oh yeah, it'll be on me this time. And pay your taxes, everyone. Pay your taxes.
Pay your taxes. If it's your birthday, it'll be on us. Everything else can be on you. But Joey, appreciate you, man. Thank you as always. All right, and we'll talk to you soon. Great group. And everyone, if you would like to be a part of our community, and we care a lot about our community, hit that join button. Be a part of the Rips Good Kids or Holy Shirts and Pants. And also, after every Orioles game, Zach and Kevin and Zach Reacts over on the other channel, part of Ryan Ripken Media. They do call-ins for the fans, for all of you after the game. Come on in. I'm not a crazy son of a bitch that's over there doing it all the time like Zach and Kevin, but I will be down there from time to time to join in on some call-ins. But you guys can join in on all the fun each and every week. And all of it goes back to helping us continue to make a better product for you all. I mean, it's crazy, Zach. When we look at throwbacks here as we wrap up the show, been doing this now for about 19 months consistently of this show.
Yeah.
September of 2023 or of 2023. Yeah. September 2023. Oh,
I was trying to do the thing where we're both on screen, but I didn't set that.
Didn't set one that up,
so,
right?
You know what? We'll just go back.
That's okay. But September 2023 is when we've committed to doing this show at least twice a week. And what we've grown to. And sometimes we've had extreme quick growth. Sometimes it's been a little bit more of a slower climb and everything in between. But the support from you guys has helped us continue to get to where we want to go. I mean, heck, if you guys aren't following, Instagram for us has been a really big one for us and a way that we can continue to illustrate stories. So follow over on Instagram at Ryan Ripken Show is still the same thing over there. And I'll have some personal selfies. But Zach, I think that kind of wraps up today. But one more thing before we get on out of here. I got to thank again our sponsors over at Merit Clubs, meritclubs.com. Appreciate everything that they have done with us. And also, one more time for the one time, if you are looking to be a part of a community and do more than just go work out and have all the amenities to do it, you want to go sit by a pool, which opens in May, by the way, in Canton, Zach, or you want to do classes, maybe go shoot some hoops, all of that, Merit is allowing us to give away a free 30-day membership right there on this link below. When I move, you move.
Just like that.
Come join us over there at Merit Clubs right there. You click the link, the code, if it's still there, RIP25, RIP25. You get 30 days free for going there and seeing what it's all about. And heck, we're going to be around there quite a bit. We might have some challenges set up for content. And I'll just say best of luck to Kevin. Best of luck to you, Zach. And I'm going to stop with all this crap that you guys think that you're going to that you guys are specimens. And don't get me started on Rocco.
Oh yeah. Videos are fun. That's just fun. I'm also training for a half marathon now.
What?
Yeah. November 2nd, I'm running a half marathon. I ran my first mile yesterday. I was talking to I think it was either Kevin or Rocco about it when I was like, yeah, I'm running a half marathon. I will be bringing a GoPro for content. So that's November 2nd.
Wait a minute. Time out. You're actually training for a half marathon?
Yeah. So I'm actually training for the half marathon because half marathon training starts July 1st. But the first day is like 4 miles of the training. So I have to get up to the training. So I'm training to get to I'm in a training program to get to the training program.
I guess we have another challenge to set forth here with our friends at Merit. Oh, goodness gracious. Best of luck.
It's good. I will say I ran a mile yesterday, but last week I also was like, okay, I'm going to run a quick mile, see how I'm feeling. I could not walk the next day. I ran a mile and a half and physically hurt getting out of bed. And that's when I remembered that even when you think you've stretched enough to run for the first time in years, you should probably stretch even more. That was November 2nd, lock it in, baby. We're going half marathon.
It's going to be great. And again, we got so many ideas that are coming with Merit Clubs, trying to give back, be a part of the community. And also with this, whatever your journey is in fitness, man, whatever you want it to be, we're here to support that. And I'm even seeing in lifestyle, British Raven down 50 pounds, by the way. Hell freaking yeah, my friend.
That's what we're talking about.
The thing at the end of the day is, you guys know, people helping people. That's why we joined with Merit. Building up in the community. Trying to make something supportive. Whatever your goal is, even though I'm going to rib Zach for doing all this, because Lord knows I can't wait to see the training. But I got to give the dude credit. He's going to do it. And you know what? I'm going to support his ass. Now, Rocco, We'll see.
We do not support Rocco's cutting season / bulking
disclaimer.
season that changes every week.
Yeah, it's hard to support something when it changes all the time.
It'll be we'll have the Tuesday show and Rocco's cutting, and by the Thursday show, Rocco's bulking, and they's back to cutting by the next week. You know.
Yeah, it's a disclaimer. We support everyone in our community
except Rocco.
Ruck Faco. Okay, well, in the best shape of your life? Well, guess what, Rock? Guess what? We're going to put that to the test here in the next couple of weeks. But, Zach, I think it's time to get on out of here. And, again, if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. On the way out, Zach and Kevin. Be back tomorrow for Kevin and Zach Reacts. But
back tomorrow, baby.
Bow. As always here on the Ryan Ripken Show, we appreciate each and every one of you. And as always, have a day, have a night, have a great stinking weekend. Kevin and Zach Reacts will be with you all weekend as the O's take on the Jays. I'll see you guys next Tuesday.